o'clock. Pardon? Oh, it's on? Okay. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Councillor Ferguson.
Motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
All those in favor? Carried. Minutes of previous meeting. Comments, questions, concerns? Motions? Councillor Brando? All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Kim, CAO update.
Thank you, Your Worship, and the members of the council. My CAO update as of July 6th starts with the health and safety. So all town employees are reporting healthy currently. So we have issued 4 new business licenses, and the operations department has continued the Main Street traffic signage improvement and will paint a new road marking as soon as possible. Part of this road marking will be the new shared left lane where drivers can share the center lane for left turns. Our Gloryland Road project is moving well ahead with most sections being paved with the first lift of asphalt. The Downtown Revitalization Project team submitted a Canada Healthy Communities Initiative for $100,000 grant. We are also preparing for another grant, Canada Community Revitalization Fund, which could be up to $700,000. The community sidewalk repairs will begin early next week. The fire department was busy responding to total 20 calls last week, including 2 outdoor fire, 1 structure fire, and 4 search and rescues. The department is working closely with Alberta Forestry to monitor current weather situation and plan for potential wildfire hazards. We have installed 10 backup water tanks throughout the town as wildfire prevention measure. The peace officers had a busy month of June responding to 116 calls. And they just reported that they went on the first bike patrol and took a lot of actions, and there was some arrest and kind of thing. So it's a pretty good sign there. The swimming pool continues to be operational with swimming lessons starting this week. The MRC will be closed on Sundays for the minimal usage during Sundays and staffing reason. From our economic development, our exploration of the wireless high-speed internet model is ongoing. Our strategic industry development work is continuing in geothermal and hydrogen energy and other oil and gas businesses. Our economic development officer presented regional tourism opportunities to Tri-Council. And that concludes my presentation. Council?
Questions for council? Councillor Brando.
Just wondering how the Gloryland paving project is going. Residents happy?
Through your worship to the councillor, generally the residents are very happy. The project team is working with the residents on some of the, some of the details and needs and etc. The project is going ahead of the schedule, so that's a great sign too. So by the end of July, we expect that most of the work will be done.
Yeah, it's looking really good. So
Yeah.
It's good to hear that the residents aren't being, put out or anything. So it's good. I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wondering about the review of the grid payroll system. When wondering how in depth that was, because we just had one a year or so ago.
Through your worship to the council, just to clarify, you're talking about step grade. Step grade, yeah. So we haven't started the review of the step grade.
So we didn't go to other
No.
communities in here, it's just in the
Exactly, yeah.
Any more questions, comments? I have one. Oh, Councillor McGregor.
Drafting programs for block party, FCSS, what does that entail?
So your worship to the councillor, I'll have to get back to you with details.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Yep, that'd be great, thanks.
My question is just if we have an update on the Vic. We are like right in our busy tourist season now, and I'm wondering if it's open, if it's coming open.
Currently, it's not open due to the staffing, but we are working with MD in getting some of the final details of the agreement and working with Gary and his team to figure, as well as our economic development officer, to figure out how we can accommodate that VIC operation.
Okay, and one more question. There was emails going back and forth today about Highway 88, the CN crossing.
Right.
So the last update I got was that they were passing it on to someone else to deal with. Have you got an update since then?
Through your worship, actually, I talked to CN officials today and had a couple of email communications with them. So they are working on it.
Okay,
So I haven't got the outcome and result yet, but they are working on it.
but they had somebody up here today?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Councillor Busk.
So one thing I would like to inquire about is the number of fire hydrants we have in this community that have black garbage bags on them that are not in service. I know three for sure, and that's without even going out of my way to look. I'd like the numbers of ones that aren't in service. I want to know why we can't get them fixed. When we're talking structure protection, things like this, it's not a very good sign to have your fire hydrants with that on it. So.
Your worship, to the councillor, we'll get back to you with the status report. Generally, fire hydrants have all different challenges. Some are infrastructure issues, some are just a regular maintenance issue. But we'll get back to you with some details.
Final call? Any more? No? Good. Councillor Busk.
And then what's Tyler's old street where you used to live? 10th Ave. So I see we've got flagging on 10th Ave. The street's got to be dug up because the sewer lines have a ripple in them or something like that.
Yeah.
Do we have a date for start, completion? When is that all going to happen so that we keep those residents informed as well?
Through your worship, to the councillor, we are doing as best as we can. Actually, we are on it, and our crews are working on it. So, with regard to when it's going to be done, I expect that within several days time period. It's a major heaving and rupture, so we'll have to use all our resources possible. But I expect that within several weeks' time that we'll have some progress there.
Councillor McGregor.
Grass cutting. So Habitat for Humanity has some lots. They are looking pleasantly gross. And we also have a bunch of lots for sale around town. So who takes care of those if the owner doesn't live here and they're for sale? So we've got some grass that's as high as this table. So that'd be handy to get taken care of.
To your worship, to the councillor, a very valid point. It is up to the owners, and then it'll be the bylaw enforcement. So why don't we put some effort to enforce those private sites where it's not well maintained?
Councillor Busk.
Just wanted to make one comment. There's I've had lots of people commenting on the grass cutting that we have contracted out. People have been liking the efficiency of the crews and stuff like that. They've been zipping all over on all different kinds of mowers and things like that. And yeah, no, it looks like it's going along great so far.
Thanks for the feedback.
Okay, let's move on to reports and new business. Big Fish Bay Beach public access discussion. So this came about, I believe, because we got some phone calls, some emails about public access being denied at Big Fish Bay.
Mr. Your Worship, to the council members, we have looked at the agreement, and as per the agreement, the lessee, who is the operator there, needs to provide a access to public area, as well as maintaining some of the basic services for the public users, and then identifying where is the public spaces is. So we will work with the operator
Okay,
to, again, reinforce some of those things.
all right, let's go Counselor Busk.
On that note, I know they have big plans and stuff out there. What I think the biggest problem is we don't have a generalized area for parking or a big enough area for parking out there. That's been in agreements as long as I can remember, that there's public access. It's the same as everything else, though, is that it all boils down to bad signage too, as well, is that you drive in there and there's no directions of where to go, right? And I know just looking for a specific campsite in that place, it's a maze. So we need to get some better areas for the public to park, better areas for the signage, all of that stuff, right? So work with him, and if he's got a problem, I know he's always coming back here looking for us to help him with his development plan. This is one of the areas he needs help with. So let's get that done, because we fight this battle year over year. It's nothing new. There's always somebody complaining about this. So I'd rather see the problem fixed than come back again next year for the next council.
So Your Worship, to the councilor, it's a good point. Actually, they are supposed to provide the public parking. And if people don't know where the public parking is, it creates some confusion there. So probably the good signage will help, and identifying some good open space for public users. That'll be great.
And then the last point to have is with our downtown revitalization and the proposed new path and stuff like that, that's supposed to go out there. Like, that's just a common sense feature would be, is if we're directing people from downtown or from the park or from the Big Fish Bay downtown, we need to have proper signage, right? So trails is going to have to be maintained. It's going to have to have easy access points and stuff like this. So I think this is a part that if we're trying to drive business out there and into town, it's got to have some better signage.
It is noted. Yep.
Counselor McGregor?
So then in that lease, because we didn't have a copy of that lease, so in that lease, there is public access to the Big Fish Bay beach, regardless if they say there's not, there is public access. Well, we're gonna hit 30 again this weekend. So I don't feel like being out of town again and filtering all these things that there's no public access while I'm on holidays. So if we got that clear, there's public access, that's it. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I was also filtering calls and messages. I found it unfortunate that we're working as a town, a municipality with Big Fish Bay, and the response to some of our residents was, as far as I thought, not appropriate. There's a reason why there is public access. Some people don't have transportation or means to get to Devonshire Beach. That it's part of the lease. It is what it is. So I would like to see their signs removed saying no public access, and we'll go from there. Councillor Ferguson.
So the access to the beach, is it the full beachfront that exists at Big Fish Bay? Since we don't have the lease in front of us, I'm just not familiar with the particulars of it. Or is it certain parts of the beach only?
So it left with the owner, which is the town, as well as the operator, to negotiate. So there's a very high level a map, but it's not detailed enough to tell you exactly. So
Okay.
it'll be up for the negotiation between the town as well as the operator.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Brando.
When is the lease up for renewal? But isn't it smaller increments for?
Yeah, so
For
there are
term
two
stuff?
stages. The first one is 42 years, and the second that ends on January 1st, 2049. And then if they wish to continue, then there is another 50-year term.
Right. So can we make changes in the meantime then?
I'm pretty sure that we have an ability to renegotiate all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my concern, right? If we have it till 49, are we not allowed to make any changes? So,
Well,
That's something that we'll have to discuss too, because they're putting in a ton of cash and stuff like that. So you would think that it'd be a pretty airtight lease that they've got for the 99-year lease or whatever they're called, that they're not going to go and invest millions of dollars and then be open for changes and stuff like this. At least I wouldn't be as a business person.
sure.
of course, absolutely.
Any more questions, comments, discussion? Want a motion to accept that as information? Councillor Gramlich, all those in favor? Carried. Correspondence, downtown revitalization mural. Councillor McGregor.
So I'll speak to this. I was asked there by the owners of Creative Goods and Co. How to go about bringing this publicly and how to, get it in the works with our downtown revitalization plan. So I suggested that they write a letter and send it in an email, and I would add it to the agenda. So you can see they've done some homework. They've been in contact with the person that painted it 30 years ago. They've also been in contact with Lance Cardinal, who did the mural in the Edmonton IKEA, and they've also been working with the town with all the colors that are supposed to be in our new downtown and area plan and all of those kind of things. So I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention as we're doing some work on Rennie Hall Plaza, that this might be a good time. Well, this is a good time to get in on either getting something done and with that mural and keeping in with the new downtown plan as we're going to be doing some Rennie Hall Plaza. My question for Rennie Hall Plaza is, I can't remember and I couldn't find it. Are we taking out the flagpoles? Or did we say we were going to keep the flagpoles? That was one that got me. I didn't recognize that one.
Through your worship to the council, we haven't got down to that level of detail yet.
Okay.
With regard to the mural, actually, generally, mural was a well-used instrument for urban design and downtown redevelopment, and they are used everywhere. So there's a value, and I appreciate that you're bringing this notion. Saying that it's on the private property, it was done by a private artist 30 years ago. And as the current budget holds for the project, for the Rennie Hall, for the first stage, it seems that the budget is very tight to be able to support this as a priority. Saying that, as I noticed that there are a couple of grants that we are looking for, and when that happens, we should be able to extend our, the first stage into a second stage where we can look at some art like this proactively. But at the moment, with the budget as it is, it seems pretty tight to support this project.
Yeah, and I don't know if they were looking like just for us to pay the whole thing as taxpayers, just had done some homework. So I guess the best thing would be to have yourself contact Creative Goods and Co. and then have a discussion with them. Like, yeah, that would be great if you would do that, and then, they'll know what's going on, and yeah.
That's your worship to the council. Actually, that's a great point. I actually had a couple of discussions with this
good
individual, and there was a great, exchange of ideas. Now, we haven't got down to like who's going to pay for this or anything like that. But she just brought the notion there's a mural that they wanted to do something about it. I talked about the value of the mural, but also respecting the copyright of the original artist, et cetera, et cetera. So there was some good exchange of ideas on that, but we haven't got down to all the details.
Okay.
I haven't connected to the Rennie Hall project yet. But in general, I'm just giving a little heads up that budget is a little tight for the first stage, but we're going to look at, in the second stage, we're going to look at some more proactive things such as art like this.
Thank you.
Counselor Busk?
I, on the other hand, think that it's a fabulous idea. If I understand correctly, that mural was part of the Arctic Winter Games back when Slave Lake hosted it. It would be a crying shame to lose another piece of art history for this community. I think that'd be a worthwhile investment to put in. It's not big bucks, it doesn't look like. I think that there's probably money, unrestricted surplus that we could put towards something along that line, as long as it's not exorbitant. I'd be interested in having a report come back when they know what they're asking for. And I'm not saying pay all of it, but we could find a little bit. I would imagine that could help out with that, because it does beautify our downtown core. So I think they're doing an excellent job in trying to keep a piece of Slave Lake history. And that's something that will be a benefit for this community.
Through your worship to the counselor, so what is in front of us as a suggestion is to redo the mural with a different artist. So that might be a little different than what you suggest. So, keeping the existing heritage as a mural is one thing, which we need to talk about, but also, doing another mural. So there are two different things. What I would say that is that I will meet with the individual, understand where they're coming from, more detail, whether it's keeping the existing art or the doing different things later, and then we'll get down to if there's a potential cost share or sponsorship, whatever it is, or even asking for private donors or sponsors. And the town will be there to support that too.
Counselor Randall?
I think it's a good idea too. I did reach out to Creative Goods as well, because I had questions about, because she's just a tenant in that building. So I had wondered if the owner had been contacted to see about cost sharing. And then I got to thinking that, during the Arctic Winter Games, there were a ton of murals around town, and that's the only remaining one left. So I would like to see us reach out to a couple building owners, because, we don't want to just do one, because then we're opening ourselves up, and then other people are going to say, well, how come I didn't get that chance? So I think we should open it up to a whole bunch of buildings in town. Like a couple of them that were there before are gone now. The buildings don't exist anymore, but I'm sure there's other places that we can look, and then talk about cost sharing.
Thank you, Counselor Randall. Anything else? Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that administration reaches out to Creative Goods and Co. To discuss the mural in coordination with the downtown revitalization project.
Good with that, Joanna? All those Counselor Randall?
Can you take an early amendment to that and open it up to other business ownership and not just?
Oh, yeah. So administration to reach out to downtown businesses interested in the mural. Okay, yep, all of them. That's all good.
Sure.
Yep.
Call the question. Those in favor? Carried. Thank you for bringing that forward, Councillor McGregor. Mayor's Corner. I have some notes from Mayor's Corner. Alberta is open up for summer. Yay. It's so nice to see people excited, planning, all kinds of planning going on for events. Everyone's smiling faces again. I want to say thank you to the RCMP and SCAN, the Safer Communities and Neighborhoods, for taking care of one of our problem properties in town. However, just a reminder that that's just a property and the people are still out and about. So please be vigilant and report any suspicious activity to the RCMP or the bylaw. I want to send out a huge thank you to the town staff for getting the water park up, especially through the heat wave. They did a fantastic job, and it was a good relief for so many during that hot weather. This morning, I had the pleasure of meeting with the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, Ms. Salma Lakhani. I had an opportunity to brag about our amazing town up here in the north, and we also had a fantastic discussion on the importance of inclusiveness and acceptance and how important that is to the success of a community. She expressed how excited she was to have an opportunity in the future to visit us up here and is looking forward to seeing what we have to offer in our region. She also wanted me to pass on to fellow council members how much she appreciates the work we do as municipal elected officials and looks forward to sitting down with us and getting to know us when she makes her way up here. Finally, thoughts and prayers going out to the family and friends of the missing boater who hasn't been seen since last week. And I want to thank all that are involved in the search efforts. My thoughts and prayers are with you, and that would be all for me for now. I know council has a few things going on they may want to update on. Sometimes it doesn't fall into our scope or our committee updates. Councilor McGregor.
So I had a chance to talk to the Alberta Parks representative for our area and the 4 employees that he has employed with him. We had a great conversation last week for about an hour. It was wonderful to hear how the Devonshire Beach is being used. The disappointing part was it took 2 people 4 hours to clean up on Monday morning. And I looked through 25 pictures and then another 25 sent the week before of the mess that gets left on the beach, which was, it was atrocious. There was a complete gazebo, there was coolers, there was dirty diapers, there was condom wrappers, condom boxes, food, shoes, shirts, clothes, baby bottles. It was horrid. So if we would like to attract tourists, my suggestion would be that if we are local and we are leaving that mess, there is only 1 supervisor and 4 people for the whole provincial park, which is a very big area. There's a lot of different parks, day use areas, group camps, all of those things that they take care of. And when they spend 4 hours cleaning up after a weekend, makes it hard to get to everything else. I was happy to hear that the signage has all been put up, the way signs, the kilometer signs, all of that kind of stuff has been done. So that was great to hear that news and get shared that. And we don't deal out of Grand Prairie anymore. We deal, our head person is in Lac La Biche now. So I'm not sure if I missed that or if that was something new, but that was good to hear as well. Of course, the nice thing would be to have another supervisor and 4 more workers would sincerely help them, but that's not going to help. And the nest, the owl's nest, the eagles at the bird observatory is not able to be rented right now. They have a problem with the cistern and it's a great big job to fix it. So maybe that's something we need to keep on the radar for the bird observatory, is to be able to have that fixed, the nest where people stay, because it's really well used for little functions. I think it sleeps 8 people, but it's a beautiful building and has been used quite regularly and is now not functioning. So I thought maybe if we could check on that or add that to our minister meeting about maybe seeing, where the plans are to get that fixed. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Councilor McGregor. I've also heard that there is a disaster at the beach almost daily. So that's very disappointing to hear when we're lobbying so hard here behind the scenes to get it cleaned up to enjoy. So I encourage everybody to take your mess home. Anything else? Take a motion to go into camera. Councilor Randall? Yeah. Okay, all those in favor? We are in camera.